Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Shigutocast. I'm your host, Beast. Alongside us, as always, is Tobe. And today we've got Plutonem, JennyBean, Crykee lined up, some incredible, super talented game jam participants and builders on the platform. So thank you guys for coming, and please go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Sure, yeah. First off, thanks for having me. I think doing a podcast is a really cool idea. I'm Crykee. I joined Roblox in 2008. Started off as a player, then transitioned to builder, developer. And since 2008, I've done 3 internships with Roblox as well, which has been really cool.
I'm Jen, otherwise known as XJennybeanX on the Roblox platform. I've been a part of Roblox for almost 7 years now, and I've worked on projects like Roblox High School, 2017 Halloween project for Roblox, and Tranquility, which is my most recent project.
Hi, I'm Emil. I go as Plutonem on the platform. I joined in 2009, I think. I started building and stuff, and at one point I had interest doing games that were on the front page. I graduated in arts, in 3D arts when I was in college, and now I'm a full-time Roblox game developer.
Sick. Okay. So we all know that you guys joined Roblox in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I'm curious, how did you originally discover the platform?
For me, I was in primary school at the time, and one of my friends recommended it to me. And one thing I remember quite clearly is just forgetting to sign up, like for the longest time. I think it took me like 2 months since he was constantly telling me to sign up, and it took me 2 months to realize. And I kept forgetting how to spell it as well. So I go on my computer being like, okay, I'm finally going to sign up to Roblox, and then I'd spell it wrong. And because it was so like unknown back then, no results would come up if you spelt like one letter wrong or whatever. But yeah, it was just recommended to me by a friend, and yeah, there's just so much you can do on the platform. I've stuck with it ever since.
Honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was through advertisements or something like that.
Yeah. Like the old Newgrounds ad that got a lot of people onto the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Congregate as well.
I found out through a friend of my brother. He came home and he was like, dude, I just found like this Lego game. You can have like infinite amount of Legos. And that's literally it. And we were stuck to it. Yeah, exactly. And just started building and stuff, and it was crazy, but yeah.
The cool thing to mention is like, I don't know, back in like 2008, sure, there's some multiplayer games like RuneScape and stuff, but it's not like it's nowhere near as big as a genre as it is now. And so having the opportunity to play a game that's like suitable for like 10-year-olds multiplayer online was like really cool.
Oh yeah. So to follow up the last question, Roblox emerged, from a generation really of gaming portals and platforms, and a lot of which failed after just a couple of years of success. So I'm curious what qualities you guys think the site has kept, or what qualities does the site have? It's kept you involved and has helped Roblox avoid the gaming graveyard.
I think a big thing, I don't know exactly when it was. I think it was 2013 when the developer exchange was introduced. Actually being able to make money without having like a fun fact, today I signed up as a Steam developer, and it took me a long time. You have to fill out like tax information, you have to do all of this stuff. So being able to make money so easily, and you can like save up Robux in your account without debitsing it for the longest time as well. So that's like a benefit. And just how accessible it is, like the fact that it's on mobile, PC, Xbox, VR, yeah, it just reaches such a massive audience.
I would say a sense of community and creativity for sure. Being able to express yourself and being able to create and show your friends what you're creating is a big reason why this platform is still kicking.
Yeah, I sort of agree with Crykee a lot. Basically, when I was like 14 or something, Roblox implemented like that DevX. So it kind of like changed the vision of like Roblox being a game to like Roblox could be a job, I think
Yeah.
that's kind of what like stuck me to Roblox. Just like, nah, I'm never gonna work at McDonald's.
Yeah. I feel like another thing to mention as well is that like they're constantly updating and improving the platform. Sometimes in ways we don't appreciate that much, but I feel like in the long run they're normally good decisions most of the time. So yeah, just the fact that they're constantly pumping out new content, and so they're doing things that no other game engine or platform are doing at the moment, which is pretty cool.
So it's worth noting that all of you guys are Game Jam champions. Crykee, you won at RDC 2018. Jen, you won at RDC 2019. Pluto, you took third at RDC 2019 and won Ubisoft's Pixel Challenge. So before every RDC, there's a topic made exclusively for developers to call to make a team. How have your Game Jam teams come to be? How do you get those together? Is it like some super cool spy movie where all the dudes just like you dap each other up and then you walk out and you like
a little bit. I don't know. It's a little bit different for me. I think it depends, like sort of how many people you know at RDC. I feel like because I've been involved in the developer community for a while now, and like a few years before I attended the first my first RDC in 2016, that I was able to go there and meet up with people I already had like good relationships with beforehand. And so it was just like the obvious choice for us to team up because we'd talked together and potentially even worked together in the past. It is a little tricky. Like sometimes, I mean, they have like a max limit on a group. So if you have like a big friend group or whatever, you have to try and like split it in half. And I don't know. It's all like a cool experience. And at the end of the day, it's for fun. So I wouldn't take like choosing teams too seriously. It's not like a big money prize. It's just like having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much just came down to who knows who and coming together and deciding, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, these people seem cool. Let's do a game jam.
Yeah, I had a little special case because it was me and my brother. He kind of like wanted to make a team with a lot of people, and then it was just like so much easier to just try to do it just both of us. It's great.
Yeah, so we're going to transition into some personal questions. And if you guys want to chime in, that's perfectly fine. But Crykee, we know you're not really, you're not new in any sense of the term to RDC events. You've been attending regularly since they were called BloxCons, way back in the day. So how have you seen the events change in the last 6 or so years? Like how have you seen RDC evolve?
Sure, yeah. So the obvious thing is the amount of people. I don't know off the top of my head, but there's probably less people at RDC 2016 than there was at London BloxCon. But yeah, just the amount of people, but also something else that's pretty cool is each time you go back, more and more people are friends with each other. I think that's one of the great things about RDC is like each time you go back, there's just more and more people are more confident in themselves and more friendly with each other. And we're all growing up as well. So like we're naturally gaining confidence through going to college, moving out or whatever, and also hitting front page. Or making like an amazing showcase as well. But yeah, just the amount of people. And then Roblox has done a really great job at upping production. I think every RDC attendee I know like really appreciates the fact that we get like hotel rooms at discounted prices, and the hotels are all really nice, and they do a really good job with production. So thanks to Roblox and the marketing team for sorting all of that out.
Yeah. So obviously we know you're a huge anime fan. You've got a freaking recommended watch list with over 130 series. It's a style of film. It's not really immune to irritating tropes at times, like the secretly OP character or the supporting character with no indoor voice. Which settings, plots, or ideas do you feel are overdone or even perhaps underdone in anime?
It's a good question. First off, how did you know I posted my anime list? Because surely that's like buried away somewhere.
I don't. We have people. We have an AI. We call it infinite
Scary.
effect.
Yeah, very personal questions.
Yeah, it's like a background check.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
like it
mean, you
though.
work for the government, so
Nice. Yeah, so overdone tropes in anime. For me, to be honest, I'm not your hardcore cultural anime fan that
yeah.
doesn't like shonen. Like my favorite genre is shonen. So
Mm.
I don't mind it when the main character is a little bit too over the top or they are overpowered. I recently read a manhwa called Solo Leveling, which has some of the best art I've ever seen. And that is a story about a character that is pretty OP. Sorry for the slight spoiler, but just read the first chapter, I guess. And but I feel like every time they introduce an OP character, it's always done slightly differently. Like they have like a different kryptonite, or they have like a different aspect about them that completely transforms the show. One Punch Man's a good example of this. Just like the comedic factors and the whole. There's a little bit of philosophy in it, but just the fact that the main character that's overpowered gets bored. Like
Yeah.
it's a very relatable and like realistic approach to this problem. And so I appreciate that. And then also it just makes for amazing animation and fight scenes. So I'm not really one to complain about that.
Yeah. Sick. So Jenny, we're gonna ask you a couple questions. We heard you were motivated to start developing by a Build to Survive style game back in 2012, something like that. During a time when resources and guides for studio were a lot less easily accessible, how important do you think this style of game was to hopeful developers and builders?
Oh man, I definitely think it helped. It definitely fueled the creativity aspect of it.
Yeah.
Your ability to come up with different things every time you played. It it was something that was really enjoyable, and it reminded me a lot of Legos. That's something that I used to mess around with all the time when I was younger. I would just have
Pretty common
uh,
thing.
yeah, like giant base
Yeah.
plates and connect all the base plates together, and then I built environments on those things. It was
Mhm.
crazy. I love doing that. So it kind of, I think it was a necessary transition from Legos into Roblox. I think that helped a lot.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Uh, just a quick scroll through your Twitter account. You can see pretty evidently that you're a massive Star Wars fan. You're building a showcase around a Jedi temple, um, with a lot of hardcore fans taking dedicated stances on prequels versus sequels. Which trilogy do you favor?
well, if I
Or
could
is it the
figure, yeah, I was gonna say the original is definitely my go-to.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah. But
Needed.
then I think in the order that they were released, so the prequels and then the sequels.
Mhm.
If I had to make a top tier list,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Star Wars is
I think
awesome.
for people in our generation, at least like when I first watched the prequels, I was so young that like the CGI didn't bother me at all. So I
Yeah.
like and also
Exactly.
yeah, and the CGI in the movie actually inspired me to do Roblox builds and showcases as well. Because
Yeah,
it, like
yeah.
before that, sure they had amazing like set models and stuff, but it was really cool to see the like crazy, unrealistic CGI models that you could then create in Roblox.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I think it's different kind of media that we consume as people. Harry Potter, Star Wars. What's another one? I don't know. Star Trek, whatever.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord
Um,
of the Rings. That's a
Blade
really
Runner,
good.
pretty on the
Blade
nose
Runner.
for Shiguto.
Yeah,
Shiguto fan favorite.
all of that can fuel your creativity as a builder. So if you're
Mhm.
building in the genre of, let's say sci-fi, you have to really think about what you want to build, but Blade Runner is a really good reference and can give you a really good vibe of the feeling of an environment. And I think that's essential when it comes to building showcases.
Yeah. So Pluto, we're gonna hit you with some pretty hard questions. I
Yeah.
know you graduated uni with a 3D arts degree in 2019. Is there any advice you have to, let's say, a 16, 17-year-old builders who want to go down the same route and do cool art stuff in the gaming industry? What kind of grades, competition, in schooling? What should they expect? What advice do you have for them?
That's kind of like a tough question. 'Cause,
Yeah, no.
no, but like College don't want like you shouldn't do this, but it's actually the right way to do it. But college is not always the solution. It's
Mm.
it's kind of whack, but
It's not for everyone.
yeah, but like your art doesn't depend on your college degree. You really need to focus on like having a good craft because people don't the companies don't hire people that have college degrees. They hire people that have good vibes and that work really well. There's a lot of people coming up to me and being like, "Oh, where should I sign up? Like, which school should I go?" The answer is like any school you want to go if that's what motivates you. You really need to focus on like what's up to date. Like go on ArtStation and look at like everything that's really like releasing, like the new games or the recent artists, and look what they're doing and the techniques they're using. And you need to use this. You need to be like they're doing, because otherwise no one's gonna hire you,
Yeah.
100%.
even if you have a college degree. But yeah.
Yeah. Focus on you.
Yeah.
Focus on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, definitely. I'm just gonna add on here and definitely reach out to people.
Yeah.
Very similar to networking on Roblox, reaching out to people that you look up to, different environmental artists in either the companies that you want to work for, or environmental artists. In my case, environmental artists where you look up to what they do. Ask them questions, and surprisingly, they might actually get back to you. I've had a
Mhm.
couple of occurrences where conversations started and a lot of questions were answered. So definitely reach out to those people.
Yeah.
Saves you a lot of time and money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pluto, I know you're pretty well versed in modeling software, working on the likes of Houdini, 3ds Max, Substance Painter, even a little bit of Blender, alongside coding programs like C Sharp, Python, and Lua. A lot of these names are super daunting to new people who are just coming into the art form. Clearly, you're doing something right. So I'm curious, what's your method for learning new software and coding languages? What kind of wisdom can you impart on the audience?
I don't think I'm like it's funny because like it sounds like I'm a lot better than everybody around, but honestly I'm not. Like the only thing I'm doing is I'm getting like good enough in everything. I think it's a different approach than some people do. Like some people just specialize in something and they get like really really good at something. I think that's a way to approach something, like to approach learning. It's not like the way I decided to learn. I didn't really notice until it was like I was in college. I knew like a bunch of stuff nobody knew. Like I'm no expert in like anything. I cannot be like the one on the planet to be able to be saying like, oh, this is the way we do it.
Yeah.
I'll be able to like follow everyone,
Mhm.
sort of. I'm far from being like the best programmer on Roblox, but I'm capable of doing like a full game.
Yeah, you're a
If
jack
I
of all
need help,
trades.
yeah, you need to ask help for everyone. This is like the best way to learn. Like learn your own stuff and ask people around you to help you, and you're gonna learn like so much from like looking at like other people's work and having their reply from like they've done the research. They know what they're doing more than you. Just
Yeah.
like ask people around. Just like they know what they're doing, and they're gonna tell you how you should be doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like YouTube is such a cheat sheet when it comes to like 3D software and all of that.
Yeah.
There's so many tutorials and like there's so many people that are willing to put time and effort into like putting out teaching content for free. So definitely check that out. And depending on what industry you want to go to, you can even like look up, okay, what's the industry standard software for like CGI in movies or for 3D art in games or for like VFX and particles or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you like find that online, you can start like practicing and learning those software without needing to go to university, without needing to be like taught by anyone in person. Like there's so much free information out there now to take advantage of, and that will give you a step up from everyone else. That will be really useful.
So Pluto, we know you're somewhat of a car enthusiast, to say the least.
Yeah.
You're the first member of the Shiguto car community, even spicing up your Mazda with a custom OOF license plate. What do you think's the appeal of putting so much time and care into a vehicle and tricking it out, pimping it out?
To be honest, I don't know. It's like something personal. Like I've always liked cars, ever since I was a kid. It's always been like an important thing in my life. I've always looked at cars when I was like in the back seat when I was a kid. At one point, I got mine. It was crazy. It was like stupid Mazda 3. I was super happy, but it was like a simple car. But
Hmm.
it made the whole difference. And at this point, you start like playing around. It's really like a toy. So you buy stuff on the internet and then you try to put it on. You look at people installing it and you try to do the same. At one point, you just like start doing more and more stuff. It gets like more and more fun, and then you get surrounded with people that are the same kind of people. So like they enjoy taking care of their car. So
Get better with time, yeah.
Yeah. Do you play any car games on Roblox?
not really. I think it's kind of weird because I don't know. I think it lacks a lot on the aesthetic part on Roblox, like especially the car games. Like I think they lack of taste, but I'm not attacking anyone. I think it's just. But
Yeah.
there's this new game. I think what's it? Fractalities worked on
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
driving simulator.
Hmm.
It looks really good, and I think it's the one with the most potential of like actually being the whole map is like super sexy. The cars feels kind of nice. It's different.
Yeah.
It's really different. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing right now that's kind of like feeling like I'm satisfied enough. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
For those that don't know, Driving Simulator is made by 3 like EBR members, so the map looks like really nice. The car chassis is
Oh,
really
yeah.
The camera work is really nice for the cars too. Pretty much
Yeah.
everything in that game's really good. So check it out.
A quick shout out. Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break, get a message from our sponsor, and then we're gonna dive into the questions that you guys asked on our Reddit this past week, r/Shiguto. Check it out for our next episodes. We ask most of the questions. So yeah, we're gonna go get a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back. I'd like to take the time to thank our sponsor, Night Owl Delivery. Are you tired of your packages arriving late, damaged, or even not at all? Look no further than Night Owl Delivery Service, one of the fastest growing courier companies this side of Zaibatsu. With our fleets of highly advanced courier drones and highly experienced delivery personnel, your package will arrive at its destination quickly, securely, and most importantly, discreetly. Never again will you come home to a shattered nano-inject in your mail, and well, y'all know how sticky and stinky that can be. Remember, when you subscribe, please don't forget to put in the code SAMUKO for your first 3 months free and 7% off of your first year. Thank you to Night Owl Delivery Service for sponsoring this episode of the Shigutocast. Night Owl Delivery Service. Delivery done right. Yeah, sick. Thanks for sponsoring this episode of the Shigutocast. So this question is directed to everyone. It comes from it's the one, Tove, it's the one that put their pronunciation in, like they edited their freaking post
I
and
love
put
this
the pronunciation in there. The distinction between games and showcases. Occasionally, the line between them is blurred. You can look at Roses, Neon District, Life of Otaku, even Crykee, even Crykee's own Temple of Memories. What's you guys' opinion on this this line blur?
I
I
would
think we have-
definitely say gameplay. Like how much gameplay is in your game in order to make it a game. Usually showcases are more of a art piece in a way. It's like you can walk around a room and look around.
Yeah, and
But
appreciate it.
over time they can evolve into games because I mean I've been seeing that from Temple of Memories, Life of Otaku. Uh, you know, over time they can grow into games by adding in more gameplay, different missions, different things like that.
Yeah.
So I would say that that's where the line is.
Mhm.
When it just comes down to interacting with your environment and more gameplay.
Okay.
I personally see it as like a intention of creation. When you
Mhm.
create something, you either like decide to create a game or you create a showcase. I think the intention is very different. When you create a showcase, I think it's more like a personal thing than a game. But a game can be quite personal. But I don't know if it makes any sense. But like when you create a showcase, it's a lot different in making a game. Like
It's more of
feeling
like you're
wise.
putting yourself into it, you know?
Yeah, and
It's
it's
an
like
artistic expression. It's not really
yeah,
a,
exactly.
I want people to play my game, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Even though you
Yeah.
could want a game for yourself, but it's a showcase is more like for the art than for the actual gameplay art. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's where I see the line. But yeah, I think both of them, like a game can be a showcase and a showcase can be a game though. But
Yeah.
I think the line I draw is when the owner tells me, "Oh, it's a showcase. Oh, it's a game." I see it like everyone can define it the way they want.
Yeah.
I think it's a good point when you say like what the developer has in their mind or what's their motivation for making their showcase or their game. But the problem, and this is like relevant to Temple of Memories, is when like it starts off as one thing and then it evolves into something else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Temple of Memories started off as a showcase. I was like, okay, I'm making this. It's going to be my entry to EBR. So I'm going to put as much effort into it as possible. And I don't really know what happened. I think someone from Roblox checked it out and wrote a blog article on it. And back then, blog articles were a bit more
Yeah.
relevant in the
Yeah.
building
Yeah,
community.
they were pretty big.
Yeah. And so I started getting some visits, and I started getting some popularity in it. It almost like, obviously, I was really excited. This is like my first game that was successful, sort of successful in my own eyes. It's no like jailbreak or whatever, but
Yeah, of course.
so I was really excited, but it was almost a bit stressful as well because I was like, oh, there's all of these people playing the game, and at the time it wasn't even a finished showcase. It was like, I don't know, like 15% of what I wanted to do. So there was like full servers of people walking around for a few seconds and leaving. I was like, okay, quickly, I need to add as much stuff as possible. And so like I went into studio and I kind of I didn't throw the showcase idea completely out of the window, but I was just like trying to add in content like more efficiently without focusing as much as I would have originally liked on the quality. So
Yeah.
that's why like some of it's like more detailed than other areas. But yeah, so I don't really think it matters where people draw the line. I think what Pluto said, like, feel like they can be both at the same time. But another thing to mention is like, it's how the player interprets it as well. Like, I feel like some games, even I guess like Jailbreak, for example, because it's made by Asimo, it's a decent example for this. Most players will go there to play the game, and most players will go there to play cops and robbers. But I'm sure there are some players that will go there just to like hang out or like enjoy the view or like just be immersed in that environment. And so I feel like in a way it's sort of up to the player as well in terms of what they get from the game they're playing.
That's good.
I mean, I think the discussion that this question brings up is pretty interesting. I mean, you look at arguably our most popular game coming from a Shiguto developer, Neon District. You know, it started off as Infinite Showcase, and a pretty big community is the role-playing community on Roblox, and they just like to find showcases, and sometimes they'll take those showcases and push them and push them and push them and make a community out of them. I think that's super interesting to watch and to see. But it's an interesting discussion to bring up because
For
the
sure.
the line does blur a lot now.
Yeah, and with people making money from it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's a big motivation for builders now. It's like, okay, I've made a showcase. but I can make money off of it. How do I do that without ruining the experience?
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Yeah, I remember like having like 5,000 parts, lagging. So every showcase couldn't be a game because it was like
Yeah.
as soon as you put like a little bit of detail, the game would lag like crazy. So nobody was doing it. But right now you can have like a game with like I don't know, like I don't know, 100,000 parts, and
Yeah.
no one bats an eye.
there is a EBR entry recently that used so many sphere meshes that they had 80 million tries in the game.
Jeez. Oh my God.
I have a NVIDIA 2080
Yeah.
and I was lagging. Everyone's lagging. Like no one's escaping the lag from this game. It looks really nice, but that game that like showcase can never be like a playable game. There's just no way.
Yeah. It's the way it is, yeah. So this question comes from Speedmaster Was Taken. Do you guys prefer working alone or working with a whole team?
I feel like both. I love practicing.
There are times for both.
Yeah, because you can, when you're working on your own, you have so much creative freedom, and I feel like that really allows you to progress in your like technical skill sets and also like sort of mold your creativity and imagination really well. But you get a ton of like really good skills from working in teams, whether that be like communication between team members, like and all of the features that Roblox has made for teams as well. Like you get experience of using that team create, creating groups and all of that stuff, and like using project planning tools like Trello to like write down lists of different ideas and tasks you want to do. And all of those skills are really transferable to like other careers and basically, and Trello is really cool. Do you guys use Trello?
Of course.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
That's all I've been doing like all day.
Nice. So yeah, if you, for me, I find myself constantly thinking of ideas when I'm working on a project, and Trello's like a website that allows me to like write down all of my ideas and like create checklists and all of that good stuff, so I don't forget about it. So I recommend that even for like showcase builders. Yeah, it's a good website.
I use like Trello for my life, like in general. Like
Yeah.
I have a Trello
Get
board
married,
for
have
like when I need
babies.
to do like if I need
Yeah.
no, but like
Bucket list.
like everything from like I need to repair this on my car, or I need to go pick up my mom, or like whatever thing can happen in my life. I just have it on my Trello so I never forget it because I just open it and like, oh damn, I need to do this today, or this is like a top priority. So yeah, it's just like use it for everything. It's the best little thing you can have in your pocket, in your phone, or on your desktop, whatever device you use.
This episode brought to you by Trello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Sponsor now. Forget those other guys.
Shout out to Trello.
Yeah. This question comes from Ilianson. This is for you, Crykee. As someone who's competed in multiple game jams, wow, this is pretty relevant to the last question. How have you found team size can affect the final product?
Yeah, so it is a really good question. I feel like team size affects quite a lot in a game jam. If you have a smaller team and you're used to working together, you're like, I feel like sometimes you can become too ambitious with what you want to do. And that sort of leads you down a path of like stress and not having enough people to get it done in time. Like the reason why it's a game jam is because you only have a certain amount of time to get something done. So naturally it helps to have more people to do that. It's just finding a balance with, okay, this is too many people. We have too many ideas we can't communicate. So I think one good point is like get a team that has a versatile skill set. We've been really lucky to be in teams where that's the case with people like Defaultio, who builds and programs and does art and stuff. He's like a solo developer that has worked on Tycoon, and he's working on a new project at the moment. Yeah, so I don't know. I found like the sweet spot for me, just based on my experiences, around like 4 or 5 people. It depends on how long the game jam is, but yeah, that's been pretty good, and it helps a ton if you've worked together before. Not necessarily like it doesn't have to be like a serious work thing, but just like yeah, it helps a lot because what everyone's capable of, and you're sort of used to working within your own role. And so you don't have to like discuss, okay, who's making the characters, who's making the maps, who's doing what, because you kind of already know what's happening.
I mean, like, Crikee's kind of right on everything on this. Like, I'm like this sort of like counter example of like being a team of two, but like I don't recommend it. I think it's like super difficult to like. You really need someone that you know really well because you don't have like a second to like waste or anything. It's
Yeah.
kind of like really, really stressing.
Yeah.
It's like when you're a team, there's like someone that can help someone that has a problem, you know. But I cannot ask my brother to help me because he doesn't have time to help me, and I don't have time to help him. So like, it's really stressful. It's really cool when you win and you're just a team of two, but it's like it's not a big advantage over like being a little bit more and having a little less stress. Yeah.
I think there's a big correlation between team size and stress. Like generally, the bigger team, the less stress. Obviously, up until a certain point, but yeah.
Yeah, and like at the same time, it's really kind of important to have some sort of stress during a game jam. So if you're like a too big team and you're kind of like just chilling out and doing random stuff, it's not really optimal.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I agree. Support.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta work it as a well-oiled machine. You can't have too many people, or else somebody's gonna just be like sitting around.
Exactly.
You don't want too little people because then everyone's stressing and nobody can help each other, and you're stretched a little too thin. It's pretty cool. So this question's pretty pertinent to Pluto. It seems Ubisoft's Game Jam you competed in, it subjected you to 48 hours of developing. How much of that time did you spend working on the game? How often were breaks taken, if any? And how rushed did you feel? Like, how stressful was that?
Really, really stressful. I was the I was the only programmer in the team, and we like I was coding, and we were like five. There, I had like 5 other artists, so they didn't know like much about Unity except one of my friends. And they were all artists, so they didn't know how to fix code or anything.
Yeah.
Personally, I slept for like 4 hours, and I just couldn't sleep anymore because there was like too much noise, and I slept like under the table. Yeah, I think it's one of the most rushed thing I've done in my life. It's like constantly feeling like you're about to just like I don't know, like push yourself further and push yourself
Yeah.
further. It's just like crazy thing. Like
Yeah.
48 hours is so long, but it feels short. It looks short, but like when you actually live it, it's just like tremendously long because you're not sleeping and you're not taking care of anything. You're just doing your game.
Yeah, you're
It's just like
working.
crazy.
Yeah, that sounds pretty insane, actually. The more you talk about it. So this next question comes from 71CD or CD. Where do you guys find the most inspiration for your builds?
Pinterest, and then just like I mentioned before, just the media in the genre that you're building in.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's horror, look into horror movies. If it's fantasy, look into things like Lord of the Rings and
Yeah.
all that jazz.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, just
Twitter? Question mark?
It's easy to procrastinate on Twitter. That's the problem. Like on Pinterest.
Yeah.
I guess some people
Yeah.
procrastinate on Pinterest, but if you type in like sci-fi alleyway, you're not going to get much else apart from sci-fi alleyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitter's such a time vacuum sometimes.
Yeah, dude.
I
It's like
I always go on there with an intention of doing something that's completely different than whatever I end up doing.
Like, oh, I have a notification, and then like 10 minutes later, you're checking about some weird news story because some random celebrity's trending.
This next question comes from the Great Pumpkin 31. First question is going to be
Love that username.
directed to you, Crykee, and then the next question's for everybody. Crykee, where exactly did you and the other developers of Hexaria get the idea for it from?
A few people might have already guessed, but Biostream is a big fan of Wizard 101. So that's where he sort of got all of his initial mechanics from in terms of bits as the source of energy to use your cards, and just like the general sort of atmosphere and gameplay loop of the game. But his idea to have it all take place on like a 3D hexagonal grid was just like his creativity and imagination at that point. We later found out that there's a game called Pirate 101 that is a little bit similar. They don't use hexagons, but you can move around on a grid, and I'm pretty sure it's a card game as well. But we we came up with the idea on our own, or Biostream did, and I just thought it was such like an innovative idea, and it was so creative, and I just like being involved in projects like that, especially in Roblox where there's a lot of saturation.
Yeah. This question is for everybody. You guys like to use plugins? If so, which plugins do you use?
Yeah, plugins are super important. I'm so glad Roblox added them, partially because Roblox has to go through a lot of hoops in order to release new features for Roblox Studio. And so having user-made plugins allows developers to quickly make their own tool sets, and it just makes working so much faster. I I don't really look down on people, but I just don't understand the sort of perspective that you shouldn't use a building plugin. Like people that use studio tools only and don't use a building plugin, it's just mind-blowing for me. I'm like, what? You can't resize multiple parts in the same direction at the same time and you're okay with that? But
it's like running a marathon with one leg.
Yeah, exactly. And it's weird for me. Yeah, I don't actually look down on people that do that. I feel like it's respectable, but I feel like some people, maybe some people are being a bit too stubborn. If you put a bit of time into learning a plugin, like I didn't want to learn Build V4 when I first tried it out, or like any of the C-Frame plugins, because they all looked quite intimidating. But learning them has helped me so much in just building what I want to build faster. And it makes the whole thing a more enjoyable process. Plugins I use most are, at the moment, Studio Build Suite, Build V4 for some stuff. It has a ton of tools in Build V4, like the mirror tools, one of the best mirror tools. Some of the terrain, the smooth terrain tools in Build V4 are really good as well. Especially if you're working on large projects, I'd check them out. Although Roblox has updated their terrain tools now, so it's not as big of an issue to work on massive terrain. And then Draw 3D Text by XJennybeanX. Hopefully I'm getting these names right. Yeah, there's just a ton. Check out your catalog and skip past the shift to sprint ones and try and find actually useful stuff.
SBS, highly recommend. I use it's more of a new plugin that came out called Rope Plugin. That's a really good one. You can pretty much click 2 points and bam, you can just make a rope, and you can create loops around specific objects and everything. It's a really useful tool. So check that out. I use the default tools for terrain in Studio because with the recent updates, it's made everything much quicker, much easier, and just a lot better in general. I have a part 2 terrain converter as well. That's a pretty cool plugin. Look into that because that can turn out to be quite useful every now and then. Yeah, mirror plugin. Pretty much everything Crykee said.
Sorry.
And there's one more plugin. When you're creating dark environments and you don't want to keep adjusting the atmospheric lighting, there's a light plugin. You can click on that and it attaches a light to your camera, so it's like shining a flashlight as you're building. It's really useful.
That's super creative. Nice.
I use like SBS because I've always used like command utility since like years. I think it's just natural to use it. Otherwise, like Stravant, I don't know how to say his name, but like everything from like resize a line, gap fill. There's like a material flip. Shout out to Wood Reviewer.
Yes.
And there's like a bunch of those. have like a bunch of plugins that I use like to do little things every now and then that are weird. I think they're mostly like bad habits and I keep using them. But yeah, XA, I think Crykee mentioned it. There's like a bunch of plugin that person does. You can find it on Twitter, and just like a bunch of tools, like Brush Tool. I think that's the plugin of the
Yes.
year. You can scatter like a bunch of stuff everywhere. And I've made like so many games literally like just using that thing and just like painting grass and painting a bunch of stuff. And everyone's just like, wow, nice building. But it's just like 5 things and just brushed everywhere. Yeah, sometimes I write my own plugins when I need something very specific and I can't find it. But rarely, but sometimes. Yeah. Just I don't know, like you can voice that on Twitter. Like if you need a plugin about something, like there's something you need, just talk about it on Twitter and tag people that make plugins, and they might be like super happy to make it, right? Like, oh, nice. I didn't think about that before, but it's like super useful. Like something you've tried on Blender and you just like do it. But yeah, just like tag people that do plugins, and we're going to be like, yeah, oh yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah, I feel like in terms of searching for like new plugins, maybe the like catalog library isn't the best place. You can go onto like builders and you can go onto their inventories and look at the plugins they have downloaded. That's a really good place. And then just finding out who like the most well-known plugin developers are, like XAXA, Zombie, Stravant. There's a load of other people as well. Crazy Man 32's done quite a few. And all of those guys have some hidden gems. And just maybe even if you don't know what they do, sometimes it's good just to download them and play around, because maybe it's something you need that you didn't realize you needed.
This other question comes from Hakamari. What's your favorite showcase, and what's your favorite game outside of Roblox?
Like I've already mentioned it, The Wind has quite a big place in my heart for being like my first like real experience of a showcase. But there's definitely like showcases where like so much time and energy has been put into them that they kind of blow you away, especially now that Roblox is like more performance friendly. I don't really have a favorite one at the moment. I really like what Yasu's doing with Life of an Otaku. He's putting in a lot of effort into that and creating a storyline and all of that good stuff, I think, is sort of pushing the genre forward. I mean, there's always going to be a place for showcases that don't have game mechanics, but there's definitely game mechanics that can aid showcases.
Yeah, I definitely relate to Crikey here, like a lot. The Wind has a really special place. Pretty much any of Asimo's builds are spot on for me. But Life of an Otaku, the interaction in that game is starting to get really cool. And that's something that, you know, between the story and the interaction, it's definitely something that I want to see more of in showcases on Roblox. And outside of Roblox, my favorite game is The Last of Us. That game, yeah, that's the game that inspired me to even start on this journey. So props to Naughty Dog.
Think about The Last of Us 2 leaks.
I haven't looked into the leaks because I don't want to know anything.
Fair enough.
I want to give my respect to the developers behind that game because they put a lot of time and effort into it. I don't think it's great, you know.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's weird. I'm in nosy, but this I don't know if you guys even know his name. He was more popular back in the day in the building community. He had a showcase called Compound. It was like insane back in the day.
So who is it, sorry?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, I played one of his FPS games back in the day as well. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. It has a special place in my heart, but right now I think it's like Times of Change by Finway. Oh, Leo, I don't know how to say his name, but like, yeah, it's really, really, I don't know, cool. It's kind of like my style. I love it. I love the classic building style. It's just like, I've always loved it, and I think Finway just nailed it on the the aesthetic and everything. So yeah, I think that's
I
about
love
it.
that he stuck to his style for so long. Like he left Roblox
Yeah,
for
yeah.
I don't know how many years, and he comes back and does the same thing. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
hmm
Like my game of the moment, I'd say, or like my favorite game. I think it's a favorite game outside Roblox. Right now, it's like Call of Duty Warzone, but
Cool.
so pathetic.
That game was really nice. And like good graphics. I was like blown away the
Yeah.
first time I played it. The lighting's really nice. It gives me Last of Us vibes. So Jenny, if you haven't played it, I'd check it out.
Not played it yet.
There's like I really like the it's like the abandoned airport is a really nice scene.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think it's like Fallout 3. But yeah, it's
The Fallout
classic.
games are always a fan favorite. It's a classic. This last question that we're going to pull from the Reddit comes from Tortuds. Yankee with no brim or brim with no Yankee? It's a very philosophical question. It really bores into your soul. And I'm kind of interested to see you guys' take on it.
I have no idea what the question's about.
Yep, me too.
Yankee with no brim or
Very lost.
brim with no Yankee?
It's Yankee with no brim, bro.
Which
An American meme. I'm not clear
yeah,
enough.
Yeah, this is an
I'm
American.
looking it up right now. I'm seeing some weird pictures. There's a picture of Tyler One wearing a no brim.
Oh
A
god.
no brim. That's my
Uh,
choice.
no brim. There you go. Brim with no Yankee is just, I don't know. I guess there's more functionality, but there's no style, you know?
Exactly, yeah. It's all that stuff.
So I'm gonna pull a question from our last Shigutocast episode. I think it's worth asking. How do you guys' usernames or pseudonyms and avatar design choices reflect your personality or taste? If there's any connection at all, like is there a story behind your username or some design choices, or is it just something that you threw together for the clout?
For me, I was just trying to find a name that started with a C, which is the same letter that my real name starts with, so it's slightly more familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously
Yeah,
short name as well. And I kind of in order to have a good short name, you kind of have to make it a play on words these days. So
yeah.
I managed to do that, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I went from like Crycicle to Crykee, and I'm really glad I did that. It was meant to be bicycle, but it's
Oh man.
bicycle.
It's a bicycle you cry on.
Crikey was a good move. Crikey was a good move.
My original username was 1234 Christopher, so I feel like it's just gone up from there.
Oh yeah, dude. Production value on the name is just skyrocketing.
And when they release underscores, I got Kanye _West, so I'm pretty proud of that as well.
Oh really?
Yeah. I feel like,
dude, another snipe.
yeah. Kim Kardashian was taken before Kanye West. Pretty crazy.
Oh man.
In terms of my character's like outfit, it doesn't really represent much. I like to keep it kind of simple, and kind of like humanoid, so it like resembles a human rather than a dinosaur or whatever, like the Arthur.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just makes it. I feel like Roblox have kind of got it wrong a little bit when they're making all of these characters that aren't humans. I felt like that's kind of cool, and they're like really cool art and really cool designs. I feel like people want to play as things that actually look like humans.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got my username from school. A teacher of mine, my favorite teacher, really cool. You know, always told us, reach for the stars, go after your dreams, all that cliche stuff.
Real inspirational guy.
Yeah.
Or gal.
Yeah, really awesome teacher. And so the nickname Jenny Bean, she called me Jenny Bean, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll use that for my username. So yeah, I mean that's how I got my username. And as for my character, I was actually trying to make it look like me, but with a little bit more style and a hat. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
the hat changes everything.
Oh yeah, the hat's great. Yeah, so same color hair, same kind of glasses that I have. So yeah, just with a cozy style, and just
Well, there you go. Pluto, I know yours is pretty wacky. Your avatar, at least.
Yeah. For my username, it's basically like Pluto in French, which is like Pluton, and I add em, which is my name, Emil. Yeah, that's really about it.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought it was cool, but it's not really cool. But like, I used to be called Cashmaker 10, so like, I'm fine with like Pluto.
That's great. What
Yeah,
inspired that?
Cashmaker 10's pretty baller though.
I was making this account to like make tickets, and I was trying to call it Cashmaker, and it was taken. So I was like, oh, I make 10 tickets a day, so it's going to be Cashmaker 10. But
Oh, dude,
so yeah,
big brain.
but yeah, for my avatar, I think it's kind of like got it like recently because I used to wear like a pirate hat or stuff like that, just like casual. And then I had a friend selling Dominus, and I was like, "Yo, dude, I'm buying it. Like, go, like, let's go, let's do this." So I bought it for the first time in my life. I bought an item over like 5,000 Robux, and I was like, "Yeah, that's it."
Jeez.
Do you remember?
Like 100K, and it's like 180K right now. So I'm kind of like,
Jeez.
I bought it like a couple months ago, but yeah,
Okay,
I don't really care. I was like, I'm either buying a dishwasher or like a real dishwasher or a Dominus.
oh god.
Yeah.
So improve my day-to-day life or cloud on the block.
Exactly.
I think you made the right choice.
That's Roblox is kind of like a trap in a way. Robux, sorry. Like I play games and I'm like, oh, this is 1,000 Robux. Yeah, I'll buy that. And then I realize, oh wait, people that when you buy Robux, it's like $10. I'm like, I would never spend $10 on in even like a AAA game. And then here I am on Roblox, like buying everything.
Yes.
I've spent way too much
thing.
money in Driving Simulator. Don't ask me how much I've spent.
Yeah, I spent too much in like Bloxburg, I think. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
crazy.
I've done that. But Bloxburg is such an amazing game for builders as well. Like I obviously like it's not as cool as like building your own showcases in studio, but it's like a really cool. I feel like it's the best social building game right now.
Yeah. Totally agree. But yeah, so my avatar is just like a Dominus, and then I bought like as much UGC stuff that were like black, and I just smashed it to make it look like I'm a monster, so kids stop following me. But no, they just follow me more anyway.
Genius. Dang. Yeah, they want the
I want
Dominus.
following you in games. Let me show you. I've turned off my follow settings. I'll turn it on sometimes here and there if I want to feel good about myself, but it just gets annoying pretty fast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like kind of like thinking when I used to like follow people, and I was like, God damn, it was amazing. Like following like people like Crazy Man 32, and you're just like, hey, and he's like, hi, and you're like, whoa. I was like 12.
Oh, talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm fine
So
until
just-
people ask questions like, hey, can I ask a question?
Yeah, this is like day-to-day basis. Like, hey, I have a question. Yeah, just ask it already. Like, come on.
Like, you could have literally just. I can't stop you from asking the question. I'm not going to be offended if you ask the question.
Yeah. I think that's actually it. So
I'm going.
I'm gonna go ahead and thank you guys. Keep them going. You want to keep going? I don't know.
No,
I don't know if we have any more.
Well, thanks for having us, guys. I think it's really cool
Yeah, dude,
what
guys.
you're doing with the
Yeah,
podcast.
thanks
and
for coming
everything.
on.
Yeah, I listened to it back and I probably cringe a lot, but what you guys are doing are good. So I'll watch the next one.
Oh, yeah. Before we wrap things up, if you guys would like to shout out like whatever you're doing right now, doing like a little hot ones kind of segment. Like, what are you up to? What are you doing? Anything you want to share with the world right now? Just go ahead. Drop your socials if you want, like your Twitter and stuff.
For me, I don't. I'm kind of working on some projects in the background, but not often enough to shout them out. So I'll shout out Driving Simulator. We've already talked about it a bit. It's a really cool game made by some builders that used to be some of the best showcase builders in Roblox. So it's worth checking out. Forgive the name, the game's actually decent.
Right now, I'm actually working with Repotted and the Loud Scream on something that's hopefully going to really knock things out of the park. So stay tuned for that. uh, working on, that Jedi Temple place. So
Yeah.
that's going to be really cool. And hopefully have a new showcase out by I don't know about the end of this year, but the end of next year, sure. um, yeah, yeah. Just yeah, cool.
Pluto.
Yeah, there's like a couple stuff I could mention. You can follow me on Twitter. There's a bunch of stuff that's gonna come up in the upcoming month or so. I'm starting to work like full-time Roblox right now, so I'm gonna have a bunch of time to just do like a bunch of cool stuff and publish it on my Twitter. Nothing to mention specifically right now, but yeah, really cool stuff coming. Otherwise,
Oh,
a
sick.
showcase, I'm probably gonna make it in my free time from time to time. Hopefully, gonna make it in EBR after like 10 years. But yeah, maybe I'm gonna finish it or finish something to make it. But yeah, just if you're interested in showcase, I'm probably gonna put it on my profile at some point. And yeah, that's about it.
Sick.
Well, Melonslice as well on Twitter because I might post on it.
Yeah, Melonslice.
I'll retweet it on my Twitter anyway. So Plutonem.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sick. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Like, seriously, this is pretty fun.
Thanks for hosting.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, thank you guys for coming on. Third episode of the Shigutocast. Pretty cool. Thank you guys for listening. Yeah, have a good
Bye.
one.
See ya.